I ran into debt in last 2 years ago.
One decision took her from debt to building a thriving and a very successful pig farming business.
But we have pigs that will sell 1.2, depends. We are selling per kg 5,000 naira per kg.
Wow.
Yes.
Meet Mrs. Sandra Owens Ayame. Today I visited one of the most astounding pig farmers in Southeast in this region. And I've heard a lot about her story, how she started and how successful pig farming can be. So I paid her a visit, Keza Farm, here in Port Harcourt. So today she will be taking us through her journey, how she started, the challenges she faced, how she was able to overcome them, and some guide and tips for first time or those that are interested in getting into pig farming.
My name is Sandra. I'll say I work on two sides of the agricultural value chain. So on one side, I'm into food processing. I do banga paste and also pig farming. And on the other side of the agricultural value chain, I help farm owners, especially those who are not on ground, to help them monitor structure and ensure their farm operations functions as a business. My last capital, a friend of mine, a family friend who is also into pig farming, he was the one that said, Sandra, instead of you to stay like that and things are like this your last money that you have, use it to come and buy one pig from my farm.
Wow.
Yes, and that's how I started pig farming. That's how my journey started 2 years ago.
Wow. So what were the challenges like starting as a beginner pig farmer?
As a beginner, it wasn't easy because, I would say I was lucky and God has led me through the journey, because I say I'm lucky because he kept the pig on his farm or at his farm. And so I didn't feel so much pressure with the feeding and all of it, even though I was remitting some money, but I did not feel a lot of pressure because he was also helping me out at the time before space became an issue, and then he asked me to find a way out to get my own space. And that's why you see I decided to construct this place. At first I did not have a space. This is my family compound. Wow. That I am using, and we started with the building at the back. There was our dog cage.
Okay.
So that was where we put it, and then we started expanding small, and so far so good.
Wow. So a lot of people might not be as lucky as you were.
Yeah.
Starting up as a first-time pig owner. Now, what are those common challenges or mistakes first-time pig farmers are prone to having?
Starting without knowledge.
Okay.
Not doing proper research.
Okay.
Which still goes back to the knowledge angle. Because like me, I was lucky enough to have somebody who was guiding me. And because he's a family friend, yes, with his experience. But I also I became intentional. Immediately, I started moving the pigs from his place to my own place. Because I didn't also want to make mistake, and I didn't want to start going back to him disturbing him and all those. So I had to become intentional. I had to do research, learn about it. So as a first timer, the first thing you need to do is do research. This is a business. Pig farming is a business. Likewise, any other livestock practice is a business. Pig farming or any livestock business, they have a period. So I always say this: know your entry and know your exit, so that you are better prepared. Especially feeding will take you off balance, especially with piggery. They give birth like let me say, like tomorrow no day. So if you're not prepared for it, so for me, I started with one pregnant pig. So you can imagine, from one we have grown to this number 30, and then from the last time we had about 30, we have removed 30 again. So it's a cycle. You need to be able to know when you're entering, when you're leaving, and what it will take you from that period. For example, you're starting with one, you know that the highest you're going to live maybe in 6 months, in highest, I give people 8 months maximum. The pigs that you're supposed to sell should not exceed your farm. They should not exceed 8 months in your farm. So thereabout. So at that time you plan for it. How much will it cost me to feed one pig from this age to 8 months? How much am I expected to sell it, and all those, so that it doesn't take you off balance or doesn't surprise you. So that's the only thing.
Wow. So as someone who is very experienced, you've had successful litters and circles. What would you say is the cost for someone who is not, also a beginner? What do you think the cost of starting, maybe small, a profitable pig farm would cost for someone interested in?
Before I give you a figure, because I don't like giving figures, because it might change today, it might change tomorrow.
Okay.
But then before I give a rough estimate, I'll say I would like to know if the person has a land.
Okay.
Because that's a huge factor. You need to have a land. If you don't have one, maybe you find a place to rent. Let's say you get a land that you pay maybe 200,000 in a year. Sometimes if it's in a remote area, it might be less.
Wow.
So yes, but then you also think, if it's remote, you also want to think about security. Just like here, I always say I enjoy the privileges because it is in my place. It is fenced around, and I have people who are living here already. So I have people who are managing the place for me. So those are the things that you want to consider. So, and then if you're starting with one pregnant large white, as at now, you get about 800, you get about 700.
Wow.
For a pregnant one. So, and then you have to do some small construction. Let's say if you're starting with that one, let's say about 1.5 or
Wow.
yes.
So now, what would you say is the risks that are also going to be attached? Yes, you mentioned you have to get the knowledge. Are there common diseases that are very peculiar with pig farming, or what are those dangers or possible downsides people can look out for as people starting out?
First off, I would say pig is not like chicken. Their risk is very low.
Okay.
But the only thing to fear is African swine fever. That's the only thing that can wipe your entire head. So, well, how do you prevent that? Ensure that your space is always clean.
Okay.
Because that one has no cure. Once it comes, especially if you have farms around, ensure that your space is always clean. Because you don't want maybe house flies or flies from other places to come and be perching and then infecting your own. And also your biosecurity. You don't want to carry farm equipment, or people that have gone to other farms and then come when their farm has been infected.
Yeah.
And you also need to, your workers have to be observant. Observe any pig. If there's if anyone is sick,
Change in behavior.
yeah, change in behavior, exactly, that's the word. You isolate that one immediately so that it does not infect the other ones.
Wow.
So, and if you notice, I advise that if the thing has entered your farm, because it usually takes about 10 days before they finally give up, you see some changes in behavior, cannot eat, you just see, so that one can affect your entire head. So once you see them like that, if you know that African swine fever has entered your farm, please slaughter all of them and sell, because if you allow them die, it will be useless.
Wow. So next is a very important question. How profitable is pig farming?
Very profitable. Pig farming is very profitable. Imagine you are buying one pregnant pig, and that one pig, let's say maybe her first bet, the least that they can give you is 8, or maybe the pig didn't do well, 7 on first bet. After then, there are some of them are giving you 12, 11, 20, even 26 from one pig. And they will give birth twice a year. Some people do 3 times a year, but for me, standard practice 2 times a year, so that you have time. For me, I like to give them space to rest, to recover their body. So I say twice a year. So imagine you bought a pregnant pig for 800,000. The small ones, as piglets, will sell them nothing less than 100,000. Maybe the farmer you are buying a lot and he wants to give you discount. He will give you for 70, 80,000 for one. Wow. And in a month, they don't eat. When they say pigs eat a lot, it's because, they give birth to a lot. So as they are increasing, your feed also will be increasing. but the cost of the one that you'll be spending, you'll be selling 100,000. You will not spend up to 20,000 naira in a month. Yes. Or let's leave it mark at 20,000 naira for that one that you have sold for a piglet that just left his mother. Do you understand? So the only cost that you have incurred, you calculate the cost of housing the mother or the cost of, but the mother itself will also carry its own price. So these are some of the business and the mathematics that you have to check before then you want to sell off. So it's a profitable business. And the mother, don't forget, the mother that you sold, except the mother did not do well. But we have pigs that will sell 1.2, depends. We are selling per kg 5,000 naira per kg.
Wow.
Yeah, so, and they are more than 100 kg for the mom. So
that's a lot.
Yes.
So now, looking at the housing of the pigs, is there a structure? Okay, maybe we would have to take this. Is there a structure?
My own space is not the proper structure, because for me, it's managing my own space for what I have, what I can do currently, because of my own capacity currently. But yes, standard is 5 coach.
Okay.
Because you don't want it, because of airflow.
Okay.
You don't want it too low, they will jump out. You also don't want it too high because of, like I said, airflow. You want they are proper ventilation, else they will not do well.
Wow. So I see chambers here. Are these ones, are they for different functions?
Yes. Building here. For sometimes you put water in it so that they have time to cool themselves.
Okay.
This GOS was the one who was here, so we don't. If you notice, we took him there to be with the. Let him be with the women, so that we want to cross them again. Then the children were here. You can see they've damaged this place. So before we separate them, we'll have to work on this place, repair them again. So we put food and also water
for them. So it's more like a comfortable hub.
Yes, for them. So they need water. And every structure should have water, should have drainage. For this one now, there's no, the other one has a visible drainage, but this one we could not, because this structure is temporary. Because we are going to bring this down. It's a temporary structure, so we did not do all of those here. Because by the grace of God, we will move very soon to a better and a more structured farm. So you need to have a proper drainage, because you don't want, like I said, you don't want to keep dirt around. Wow. So if you are doing this, what we do, this place will clean it twice every day. So they pack and clean up. So it's okay for people to come around.
I see that here is quite neat. Yes. And in fact, that brings me to my next question. There's a misconception a lot of people have about pigs. Oh, pigs are dirty. And from our background discussion, you mentioned that it's not as if they are dirty, but sometimes because of the lack of sweat glands, they tends to keep them. I didn't get that explanation. So can you demystify that myth about pigs and being dirty?
Yeah, they're actually not dirty animals. Wow. It's because they don't have sweat glands. And an animal that doesn't have sweat glands, he has, will I say, they have internal heat. So especially in the hot weather, they are looking for something to kill, and heat can kill pigs.
Wow.
It can kill them. So that's why they are constantly looking for places that will cool them, and that's why it's important to have a water system. Yes. So for us, you can see the hose. When the weather is hot, like now it's raining season, they just come and spray them for their body to be cool, and that's why that chamber is also there, because this particular place doesn't have the drainage like that one. That one we can pour and then the water will be going out. But this one, that's why we created that chamber to be putting water there, for them to be cooling themselves. Else you see them doing a lot of digging, they are just looking for a place to cool their body, and then also sniffing the ground.
So what's your take on those? Because there are some pig farms you see with sawdust. Do you use that, and why are you? What's your view or your take on that?
For sawdust, I would say for a beginner, and for me, I don't use sawdust because sawdust attracts termites. Though some people claim that they treat it, But how often do your workers, or would you be treating sawdust? Because once you have ants and then you have termites in it, they will start feeding on the pigs and make them sick.
Wow.
So, and how often do you want to be packing, because you need to remove them to pack
Yes.
your sawdust
Clean
and all
up.
those things, clean the place again before you put another bedding and all those things. So for me, I think the cement floor and then the water with a good drainage is okay
good.
for me.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow, nice one. So where do you see Keza Farm in the next 5 years?
The next 5 years, we are working on we are going to be bigger than this,
Okay.
with goat farm and with our piggery.
Additions.
Yes, and also a processing place. So anyway, I'll always update you on the journey.
Wow.
Yes.
Nice. Now, do you offer mentorship? You made mention of helping people manage their farms. Should someone out be interested in setting up this farm, do you train workers, help them set up? Do you also run mentorship classes, consultation, and so on? And if yes, how can they reach you, your social media?
Yes, okay.
handles?
So yes, we do. We do consultation, we do one-on-one, and yes, our focus is absentee farmers, people who are busy professionals, the people who are doing 9 to 5 now, oil and gas, banking, people who don't have time but they are interested in farming, even civil servants, retirees, people who want to do farming, they don't have the time, they don't have the knowledge. We'll teach them. We'll also help them set up, train their staff, and all those. And also people in the diaspora, those are also our targets, because we want, if we don't start doing something back home, I don't think we will get to the level where we are, where Nigeria, or where we are hoping to be, because we need them, we need to create a safe space for them to invest back home, and also create jobs for our people here. And I know that for the people that I know, for some clients that have come to me, and let me just say, the reason I started doing this targeting of diaspora, because I know family and friends who have interest in agriculture back home, but trust was a factor. They set up farm, and then at the end of the day, they begin to hear stories, because it wasn't well managed, it wasn't well structured. Nobody structured it as a business. Nobody was giving the owner a report of what was actually going on in his farm and all those. So we decided to come up with a strategy to help them structure their business, their farm, as a business. So every day they get a report on what's happening on their farm, and everything. We monitor for them too. We train staff who will handle their farms for them, and so that it's a safe space for them. Anytime they decide they want to come back, they know that they have something going on for them, yes, in Nigeria. So
how do one reach out to you, your social media?
Yes, at Keza Farms on TikTok, on Instagram, and on YouTube, Sandra Owens Ayame. I think at Keza Foods too, on YouTube.
Okay. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you.
The next time we'll be visiting, we believe here will be way, way bigger.
Yes, you'll be visiting at the new farm.
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much.